Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about this notebook from Karst. Karst is an Australian-based company. You see K there, Karst stone paper, and they make stone paper notebooks. I have looked at some other stone paper notebooks and have reviewed a Karst book in the past, and I'll put a link to one of my Karst videos in the video description for this. This particular notebook is the Pro Series notebook, and here is the belly band for that, so you can see stone paper notebook Pro Series, cover soft, color burgundy, like normal paper, only better. And then on the side here it says made from recycled stone. So if you are not familiar with stone paper, yes, it is made from recycled stone. It's made from basically the excess product from things like quarrying and stuff like that. It's 80% stone, usually limestone, and then 20% resin to make the sheets of paper. And I'm going to say paper because I'm not sure if I consider this to be paper. It takes the form and function of paper, but it is a very, very different product. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk through the parts and features of this particular notebook. I'm going to do a flip through of it. And then I'll show you one of the standard action orientated layouts, as they call it, in closer detail, so you can exactly see what is there. I'll show you a little bit of a writing sample from a previous Karst book, and then we'll talk about it. So, basics. It's basically B5 size. Here it is alongside an A4 notebook, so you can see it is considerably bigger there. It is 190 millimeters by 250 millimeters, or 7.5 inches by 9.8 inches, and has 144 pages of 144 GSM paper. I'll stop doing that now. So the paper sheet is 120 microns thick, 144 GSM, so it's quite heavy paper, but not super, super thick. As you can see, the book has an elastic. It's a fairly loose elastic. It's one of my only things is I don't love how that feels, but I also understand that that may help with longevity as the stress on the elastic isn't quite as strong. It has two accent colored ribbons here, and the notebook is available in a couple of different colors. I chose it here in the burgundy. It is a lovely soft cover. It's got a sort of a soft feel to it as well. I really like the Karst soft cover notebooks. I've got a couple of them. I do use Karst because I enjoy actually how it feels writing with ballpoint pens. One pen I write with it a lot is have this steel form arc here, and I've put a Pilot G2 refill in there in the hunter green color, and I love it in these Karst stone paper notebooks. But one thing I will say at the outset is that stone paper is not designed for use with fountain pens and roller balls. Some gel pens, things like that, ballpoints are really, really great. But anything that uses a water-based ink is not going to perform great on the paper in here. Let's start this flip through. So, pull back the elastic and then open it up. And you can see it is exceptionally white paper, exceptionally white. It's got the Karst logo on the front page and then a name and contact space. Then we pull that page back and we have a contents page. I like the fact that each page number, and they are all numbered pages, they are given a space, individual space here on the index. It just helps you know that all your pages are going to be covered. And then after those 3 pages of index, we get the standard layout spread. Now, this is an action-orientated layout with space for high priority tasks and key objectives and things like that. As I said, I'll go into this in a little bit more detail in just a little bit. This layout continues for 133 pages, and then we get a few sort of note pages. This is, as I said, beautifully white paper, and the lines and the writing is in a dark grey, so the contrast is pleasant to the eye, which is something that I also really enjoy. I think if they were darker, it would stand out very, very strongly. When you are writing, anytime you're writing, you want your writing to be the most important thing and the most visually striking thing on the page. And one thing I can say with Karst paper and the colour that they print their lines and grid rules and things like that in is that they really do stand out. So that continues, and we get a blank page at the end, the Karst logo again, and then the pocket. And inside the pocket comes with a couple of sort of page labels and some archiving labels and things. So they call them cover labels and sticky tabs. So that's always great. And in this sort of nicely made expandable pocket on the back. Obviously, you can see the book lays flat. This kind of binding and also the weight and the lack of like rigidity of the pages makes it very, very like lay flat, if that makes sense. One thing that Karst say is that details make the difference. So that lay flat binding is something they take absolute pride in, and they absolutely should. As I said, it has a back pocket. It's got these two ribbons here to help you find your place. It's got an elastic cover, numbered pages, and a beautiful build quality with these beautifully sewn signatures of pages there. It's just a well-constructed, well-made book, and I can say from personal experience that the Karst softcover notebooks particularly really do stand up to use. They don't scuff super easily or mark, and they have a nice sort of binding build quality as well. So lots to love there. So as I briefly stated at the start of the video, the paper is made from recycled stone, and that is really important because it's super sustainable, and Karst pride themselves on making their products in a very sustainable way, and they are a certified B Corporation in that respect. So it is made from recycled stone, which is 60% lower carbon footprint. It is meaning there's no trees used in it, there's no bleach or acid, and there is virtually no water used in making this paper. The paper itself is waterproof and tearproof, and provides a beautifully smooth writing experience, which is basically friction free. Now, one thing I will say as a left-handed writer, and at this moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up another stone paper notebook here. This is just a standard A5 blank plain coloured stitch bound notebook, which I like this form. I used this in a review and showed how much it took to actually tear. I will use another page for this one today. And you can see, like, you have to put in quite a bit of effort to actually tear it. It kind of stretches and bends before it gives way. So it's really kind of like durable paper. And a lot of people, in things like, sort of in unusual environments, damp environments or extreme heat, things like that, can get away with using this style of notebook because it does have such a water resistant and also durable build quality. Now you can see on this page is where I did a writing sample where I used a black wing pencil, a big ballpoint, a Pentel Energel, and a Pilot Varsity fountain pen. As I said, we don't suggest fountain pen use on this paper. It does, as well as not drying super quickly and can sometimes have really bad spread of the color. Also, in terms of fountain pen use, it is said that it will alter the grind of your nib because it has a slightly sort of abrasive quality, being based on made of stone. But I'm going to write with a couple of ballpoint pens again today so you can sort of witness the style. I've got this Alami Safari here. So it does write exceptionally smoothly. But as I said, I'm a left-hander. So when I'm pushing it in, I can feel that same resistance you get when trying to tear the paper as the pen is kind of pushed. So the less pressure you write on this paper, it actually is much more pleasant. And here is the Pilot G2 Hunter Green, which I love this color of refill. I need to get more of it. If anyone knows where to get it, let me know. And this is in a still form. I'm gonna write that again. Still form arc, which is their sort of gel pen body. Now, you can see there, that is going to take some time to dry. The ballpoint it's pretty good straight away, obviously, by nature of the pigment that is used. But they look good on this page. I enjoy writing with them. And as I said, it's a very pleasant writing experience, especially if you use less pressure. More about this paper and writing samples and stuff in the video description, where I link to other videos. So that is the basics of the Pro Series notebook. Let's now have a closer look at this page setup. Okay, so we're going to take a moment now to look at the page in just a little bit more detail. I really enjoy the layout of this. This is one that I'm going to be using for a particular project, which is why I've not done a writing sample and everything in this particular book, but I want to show you how it can be laid out. So you've got the date in the top left-hand corner, super handy with the project, obviously, and then you've got space to circle the day of the week that is. Lots of different versions of notebooks have a similar kind of thing to that. Directly below that, there's a little bit of space, and then key objectives, which have a checkoff mark space, as well as a line, and there's space for 8 of those key objectives. What I like about that is that it gives you room to have a decent amount of key objectives, but also not to get over cluttered with it. How many times have we all had to-do lists that go page to page to page? Here you can focus on 8 key objectives. Key objectives, not all your to-do list, key objectives. And then the rest of the page is note space. Now this is a 6mm rule, and as I said, it's like a gray line. So if you need things to stand out with color, there's lots of opportunity for that. 6mm rule is not a big ruling line, but if you are, unless you're using like a super big, thick, ballpoint pen or something like that, I think you should be okay. And the lines are all the way to the edge of the page, got nice sort of rounded corners, and everything's sort of well protected. And then those spaces continue all the way down to the bottom of the page, and then we get the page number. So it is a simple layout, but as I said, I really like the fact that most of the page is dedicated to this note space. So you can take plenty of notes, do what you need to do, get the organization happening, but focusing on a smaller amount of key objectives, which research has shown the smaller your to-do list is, the more focused it is, the more likely you are to achieve it, and also the more you achieve everything on your list. Once again, it's that dopamine hit of every time you tick something off. That dopamine hit is amplified when you complete a to-do list. It actually keeps you focused and keeps you wanting to do that, and keeps your productivity continuing to sort of bubble along. So this is a really nice, simple layout. And then, to have sort of simple note space at the back of the page for excess notes is always going to be handy. So I hope you found this video about the Pro Series notebook from Karst to be interesting and useful. It retails in Australia for around the $60 mark, which is not inexpensive, but you're getting a structured notebook with planning and all of that kind of stuff in a B5 size using a really unique paper. Like the A5 hardcover notebooks or softcover notebooks are around the $40 to $43 mark. So it's not that big a jump up for the bigger size and for this sort of structured style. I think Karst make really great products. They're well made, they're well thought out, and their endeavor to make sustainable stationery is really to be commended. Now, obviously, as I've said in this video and in others, if you're a fountain pen user, this isn't going to be for you. But if you are a ballpoint user, or you do use, the standard ballpoint pen, like I do quite a lot. I'm not a pen snob. I like fountain pens, but I'm not a pen snob. I will use ballpoints. This is interesting paper and one you should consider. Very low bleed, no feathering, just all around a really interesting notebook. And there are lots of brands worldwide who use stone paper. So if you can't get your hand on Karst, check out some of the other brands. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. It all helps the algorithm and helps me continue to build my channel and continue to make videos for you. So if you would like to support the channel, I would love to hear from you. It's your support that also makes this channel possible. And yes, thank you for watching. So until next time, enjoy your notebooks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.